should we do? We touch on the international results. We'll start off with the world champions in waiting.
Ireland.
I can't really have a lot of
Danish isn't on the call, and it's not Ireland, so I don't know who it is then. Not you.
I can't really have a lot of banter with anyone else for this one, but we've got to beat Andorra 5-0.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't really much to say. 83% possession. Phil Foden was brilliant, but again, it's no measure of anything, really, is it?
I think it just shows the depth of England. Like the choices you guys have. That's your second or third team, really, all Premier League players. Like it's almost unfair, but it's good for the rest of the world because you ain't gonna do shit with it anyway.
I saw a clip of some 40-odd-year-old chasing Sancho around the pitch and falling on his face and faking surgery. It actually made me feel that's what I must look like on a Saturday when I'm trying to play football. So, fat ball the outlet chasing some 18-year-old around the pitch. So I've retired after watching England and Andorra. Thanks very much.
Right, we'll leave it there because I mean, there's not really much. I think we need a point for the next game or to qualify. It's not to be cocky, but it's done and dusted.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Mitch,
is it coming, Mitch? Is it coming?
Oh, here we go.
Is it coming?
Would you start?
It's going to be a good Christmas.
I think it could be.
Would anyone be happy with that?
Yeah, I would.
It wouldn't bother me if they won the Euros.
Yeah, I would, yeah.
The World Cup's a bit different though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easier to win. Ireland got to the last 16 for fuck's sake. Only for a penalty we were through. No. Yeah, I think the Euros is a bit more difficult to win than the World Cup. I don't think they'll win it though.
Moving on to Ireland. They got a win, probably saved Kenny's skin. Or did they? Because he seems, when we saw him the other day, he was almost, he's the unsackable man at the minute.
But it gives him control back, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than saves him, I think it gives him control back to maybe one or two more positive. Like if we have to play Portugal again, and at home, right, we don't have to beat them, but if we have that same standard of performance against them where we actually go at them, I keep him anyway. I'm a fan of his. I follow League of Ireland, so I've seen what he's done there. The standard of football we're playing now is the best football I've seen Ireland play in my memory. I can pick out 3 games. I think that Ireland actually played football prior to him coming in. Right, we qualified for a handful of things, not even, maybe 4 tournaments in my lifetime.
But Ed, can I just ask, right? Is it that he's actually good, or have we just been starved of quality for so long that we're just desperate for any kind of change? Because
no, you look at the players he has. Like growing up, Ireland had players that played Aston Villa when the time Aston Villa were a top Premier League team.
Yeah,
United, Liverpool, Chelsea. I went through one that had some work yesterday. Oh, not yesterday, on Friday. Ireland don't have that luxury anymore. We don't have players playing at the top. The Championship is now our Premier League. Like if we players playing week in, week out in the Championship, we're doing well. By having this and having a decent international window, if a player has a good game, that could transform their club career, or it could also transform a bigger club stage. He can play on this stage, he can play at a bigger level or a higher level, and maybe purchase him in a couple of years' time. Ireland might have it, but our 17s are good, our 18s are good, 19s, 21s are good, and now I think our senior team, they're coming through. They're a very young team. There's the likes of James McLean and Duffy is in there, but we've 3 of the best young goalkeepers in England. Bazunu's a Man City signing.
Yeah.
Kelleher's Liverpool's backup goalkeeper at the minute. And Travers is playing week in, week out at Bournemouth, who are flying, and he's playing brilliant. He man the match 2 games in a row there within the last 5 games. So Ireland have quality players coming through. Give it time. We were never going to beat them do anything. Or we weren't expected to get out of that group anyway. Portugal and Serbia are 2 decent teams. The fact that we're actually trying to play football against them instead of just sitting like we've done for 20 years on the edge of our box, hope for a corner, hope for a free kick, or hope for a long ball over the top to Robbie Keane. we don't have a Robbie Keane, and we won't have another Robbie Keane again. We have to make do with players who will rob 1 or 2 goals. Stephen Kenny's doing, in my opinion, really, really good things. So I'd stick with him.
I'm not against him. I just think they fast-tracked him way too quick.
Yeah.
I think we should have had an experienced manager for this
We
campaign.
just still have Mick McCarthy there. What would we have done against Portugal with Mick McCarthy?
No, I would have, just based on our conversation last week, Craig. I agree. He was fast-tracked. I'd have kept him in the background, but I'd have kept Mick McCarthy there for a bit longer, yeah.
You know, Edge, I'm chatting about Portugal, but like we never would have expected that. But I think an experienced manager would have been.
No, but we're 3 minutes away from beating Portugal.
Yeah, but that's a one-off. That's a fucking unicorn game for us. Like, you know what I mean? And, but at the end of the day, a more experienced manager, I think, would have polished off Azerbaijan in the first game, would have got a result against Luxembourg, and we would have been competitive. He's won 2 games in 17, and
that doesn't make great reading. Like, you know, people always look at stats like that. Maybe take it out of context of how things are played. We wanted, for years, we were crying out to go watch Irish matches that had decent football. Oh, I'm sick of this. We skipped the midfield. We used to do it. We give out with Glenn Whelan, Keith Andrews playing centre mid, and they never touched the ball unless it was to go back to the fullbacks, which just kicked it forward into space. Most of the time to nobody, just into shite space, not even good space. We now have a manager who's actively trying to play football, who's trying to get the 21s, and he had the 21s when he was manager, playing good football, beating Italy at home, Talad, they had a really good run. He's now an opportunity to actually change the way Irish football is played and perceived from outside. But
this is what I'm saying. Exactly, give it time. So for me, I would have preferred to see him stay as the 21s for the next couple of years, fully change the Irish youth system, identify all those quality players.
But what's the point if your first team's not playing that way?
Because look, there was a big
play all the way up, and then you get to the first team, you go pump it up there.
No, but we don't have those players yet. Yeah, we don't have the players for this style of football yet. But
we do.
No, we don't. Obviously not. We've won 2 games.
We're playing it though. We're playing good football. We're not fucking Spain or anything like it, but we
don't have to be
playing way better football.
But we're not getting results. Look at Luxembourg.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of draws. You can say 2 wins in 17, but 1 defeat in 7. You look at it that way, it's not bad, is it?
Well, when you look against some of the people we're playing, I'd say it's not great, yeah?
Yeah, some of the performances have been great. The results we should have gotten wins, especially Azerbaijan and Luxembourg.
But you know, you say the performances, but in a lot of the games I've seen, like, these teams have had lots of chances against us. I think Bazunu and goal has saved us from being embarrassed a lot more. Yeah? And then I think going forward, we're not doing that much there. We're relying on Shane Duffy half the time to get his fat head on something.
We've done that for 10 years with Shane.
I know.
He's been to the Irish team.
I personally, my opinion, I have not seen an unbelievable style of football. I think the midfield are receiving the ball. I think they're passing it a bit.
It's not
better.
Unbelievable, but they're actively playing football.
They're trying. But right, just hear me out, right? For my opinion, I would have liked an experienced manager for this campaign, and then leave Stephen Kenny in control of the 21s, establish the style of football from very young all the way up to the 21s, and after this campaign, move him in, and then he can gradually bring those players in. He was 12 games at the 21s, and he's taken over the seniors.
If we kept Mick McCarthy in for this campaign,
I'm not saying
any senior manager, right? Any senior manager.
Conte.
He was close, wasn't it? He was close. About 50 quid a year you'd be getting. So if we kept a senior manager in for this campaign, Kenny is coming in for the next campaign for the Euros.
Yeah.
We don't qualify. What do you gain?
But
if we don't qualify, we now have a full campaign, right? He should be playing to qualify. To come out at the very start and say our eyes are on the Euros. That was wrong. So we can't defend him for that. That was a weird thing to come out at the start of a qualifying campaign. But let's be realistic.
Did you not fancy that group? When you looked at it, did you not fancy that group?
No.
One decent result against Serbia, maybe.
Haven't fancied an Ireland group in 30 years. For God's sake. Since USA 94, I think is the last time. Honestly. But realistically, we've always done it. We've looked and said, we might nab a draw there. If we get a draw in that game, we'd be all right. If we get one in that. For some reason, for a long time, we always had Georgia in our group, and we think, shit, they're a tricky one away. Georgia. I nearly know a whole team, the bleeding national anthem, everything about them. Like,
he's like Tamori Ketsaboya there.
That's tree. That's fucking tree. Man, I'll have to come in with different lighting next week. Yeah, it's no. I definitely didn't look at that group at the start and think we can qualify. You'd think, right, if we can rob something against Serbia, we might have a chance of qualifying or a playoff.
You need two results against Serbia, though. Like, do you know what I mean? Because like I'd have always looked at it from the point of view that we'll slip up against your Azerbaijans, which we have, and your Luxembourgs, whereas Serbia won't. Do you know what I mean?
Serbia have these players that are being bought for 50, 60, 70 million, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's other shy players that play for Fulham, like Mitrovic.
Legends.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, he's good, like, you know, and he's good tournament player like this. He'll rough players up, but Ireland still don't have that. They don't have a star player in the team. Matt Doherty, we thought could have been it, but he sits on the bench at Spurs.
I think
it hasn't happened for him. Yeah.
We're years away for having a strong potential, like a good, decent squad. If you look at the youth players, a lot of them are playing in England. A lot of them at the minute are on, obviously, in the youth system, but of the good clubs. And they do get good results. So I think that's because over recent years they've started to invest in facilities and coaching over here. It was, you know, we talked about it before. Lack of ambition by the FAI for so long is kicking us in the bollocks right now. But I think it got so bad they had to do something about it, and we will see the benefit of that in the long run. And I'm not against Stephen Kenny and his style of football. I just think it was fast-tracked a little bit too fast. I would have liked to see him control that for a few more years and then move in. You know, this style of play he has, it doesn't match the players we have right now. Because a lot of them are
not just the young players, and then not the Daryl Horgan. I'm better than fucking Daryl Horgan.
Yeah, I couldn't believe him starting the other day. I nearly fucking died. I nearly fainted. I was like, wasn't he without a club before he went to Wickham? It was nearly as embarrassing as taking your man Green to the Euros it was a few years ago, and he was unattached on the squad list because nobody wanted him.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? How do you go to an international tournament with a player who doesn't have a club? Surely there was someone else you could have brought. So Daryl Horgan, I don't know.
No, there's players like him and James McLean. James McLean's a one-trick pony. You know, head down and just run into the byline, and that's it.
Yeah. He could have squared it the other day to Ida, that powerful run, and it was just like goal, like dollar signs. I know he's not getting paid, but like it was just. You know, the high altitude, he wasn't used to it. He just thought, I'm just going to smash this.
But all these younger lads, like the lads who are coming through at Norwich, centre half,
Obama Daly.
These are all being coached how to play football properly. They're being coached week in, week out. Our assistant manager is Chelsea's assistant manager, or Chelsea first team coach. There's a high caliber of coaches there. Keith Andrews, for as much as a prick that he is when he's doing his commentary and punditry, he's a really good coach. Like, there's a good team there behind Kenny as well. He had Duff. Duff couldn't agree with the FAI, so he stepped aside again. He's bringing in the right people to do the right things. What's goalkeeper coach? He was at Palace. Dean Coyley. He's the Irish goalkeeper coach. Again, he's another coach who's really highly regarded. So we've good young coaches there. We've good young players coming through. They'll gain from this shit tournament, or the fact that they were battered by the media for not getting wins. The next campaign in the Euros, I'd fancy Ireland, if we continue to progress and actually play that a little bit better now for the next couple of games, I'd fancy Ireland to qualify then.
And also hearing that you know the under 17s are good, the under 18s are good, it's obviously great news for England for the future. So
there. Look, first the rough bastards. Well, we got Will Keane back, so in your face.
Any chance we can swap them
in your face? Swap for his brother.
Yeah, Mitch, as fucking good as you have been, you haven't done that great against Ireland over the years.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's normally the flying chairs put the fans up, I think.
Can't bring you anywhere, a bunch of knackers.
if we had this team, this setup, the way we're actually playing football now, I think Grealish and Rice wouldn't have had an opportunity to walk away.
Well, I think
because
Steve,
they would have started and playing, and
Exactly.
they'd be Irish internationals now.
And that is, I think we touched on it last week. It's criminal how those two didn't get a call up to the first team earlier. In the fact they must have seen just put them on in a qualifier, last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that's it. They're locked in.
What's your man off Southampton? Michael Obafemi.
Yeah,
where he was kind of flirting with Nigeria, saying he was going to play for them. First thing Martin O'Neill done, I think he learned from getting his hand slapped. Throw him on for the last 2 minutes of a World Cup qualifier and tie him down. That's what we need to do.
Let's face it, though, that rule. What do you think of it? I mean, if you're playing for an under-21 Ireland side, for me, you've declared. If you're under-21 England, you're under-21 Nigeria, you have declared.
Yeah.
None of this. Suddenly, you're changing and you're there. They're good enough for you then. You know.
I think 21s should be declared. Yeah. Because I think if you're younger, it's technically still schoolboy football. You know, that's where you're plying your trade at the moment because your family moved there essentially. Yeah. But I think at 21s, if you've played 21s,
and you're now a pro, aren't you? You're a pro.
No, you shouldn't be allowed to change after that. No.
21s, I don't know, because Ireland have probably robbed some players. Like James McLean, even though he's played for the Northern Irish 21s, because they were the only ones to call him up. Ireland didn't bother.
Yeah.
But I think once you're in a senior squad and you show up, train with that squad, that's when your mind has been made up. Like Paddy Bamford pissed me off for a long time. He's continuously flirting on, waiting on. Like if I'm the Irish manager and he's saying, "Oh, maybe not right now. Look, give me a bit of time, see if I get called up to England. Good luck. You're never getting a phone call on me again."
That's a cross off. Yeah.
You're done. Like I don't care how good you are. You either want to play for a country or you don't. Ireland have been fortunate enough with the English guys we've got or had over the years.
Yeah.
They bought into it fairly quick and kind of acted as Irishmen or our Irishmen or whatever it was. Like Jack Charlton had players going around their club asking, "Find yourself an Irish nanny, see if we can do it." Genuinely. I'd still do it. I wouldn't give a shit if he's English, Irish, Scottish.
Yeah, no, I think qualifiers get them in. Yeah, sure. Look, how many players have we had? How many players have we had over the years? Like, you can just name them that have been successful-ish or reasonably successful for Ireland, and they are no more Irish.
Go back to the USA '94 starting lineup. Like 3 of them or something were born in Ireland, and the rest were English with Irish grannies. Cascarino hadn't even got an Irish breeding family.
No, I think his grandparents were French or something. Where they not? How did he even get in there?
French, Italian. He drank a bit of Guinness and said Irish.
Yeah, he was heavily invested in Paddy Power in the
area. So Ireland are this week dead rubber against Qatar. What's the score?
Who cares?
I think he'll play a decent team. These young lads will want to play. I think.
I think they'll go out to try. If they get a win, well then it'd be spun as 2 wins on the bounce, and confidence be gone. I think he'll go for it. Not that he hasn't gone for it, but I think he'll go with as attacking as he can possibly get.
1-0 or 2-1, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to grab lots of goals. I think if
we don't have lots of goals in us.
I think if we do win, it'll be by 1-0 or 2-1 as well.
Yeah, be the same.
All right. Anyone want to talk about England?
Who's England then?
I believe we've got Albania.
Albania,
But,
not the worst team.
Listen, your man, that Chelsea boy, your man Broha, he is fire. He is good. How Southampton aren't giving him more of a look in at the moment, I don't know. They seem to be struggling. He's on loan at Southampton. They seem to be struggling for goals. Like Armstrong's, he's playing really well. His movement's good, but himself and Adams just can't seem to put the ball on the net. And then you look at your man Broha. I think over the last 3 international games, he's played a combined 82 minutes and has 3 goals and an assist, and he's 19. He's doing it on a big stage against the bigger teams. So give him a look. He was good at Vitesse last year. I think give him a chance.
Lads, one last one, yeah. What do you think of France and Spain in the final?
They got it was offside. Like
shocking.
It's offside, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
If you're telling me that's not offside, poor Timo Werner should put in a grievance. Fella would have another 40 goals, let alone 16.
I mean, the interpretation of that rule is poor. That fella, when he goes for the ball, he doesn't know what's behind it. So what are we supposed to do? He's got to know that the next man's offside before he touches the ball. And
every defender.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't. There shouldn't be any rule in football that would cause an advantage from a mistake. If you know what I mean. You know?
I think every defender steps up, nearly in hope that their man is caught offside.
That's right.
You can say we play the offside trap and we play it so well, but it's all hopeful. You know, if you mistime that, he's onside.
Of course.
So every defender will step up with the intention of catching that striker offside. You're still going to try to stop that ball from flying into that space anyway.
But they changed the rules so bloody much that people no longer know what it is.
Honestly.
Offside was black and white. It's grown up for at least until a couple of years ago. You're ahead of him.
I mean, I never thought there was ever an issue with offside. You learn it when you first start playing the game, you learn offside. And I never thought there was ever an issue till sort of the last...
But VAR kind of started coming in and there was lines and it was armpits and it was being away with it.
Stop that now.
Shane knows all about it.
No, but like, I think the prime example of how bad VAR was the Paddy Bamford one against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
He puts his arm out, play it there, and they call you can't score with your arm.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Like,
but I mean, one thing about football, I feel like, is they never fail to cock up something that isn't an issue at all. We had it with handballs. We had it with... all right, VAR's come in. It's been good in some ways. But, I mean, they had so many examples over the years of other sports who do it brilliantly. And how long has it taken them now to just sort of start getting it right? It's still not perfect. I just feel like football never fails to cock it up.
Gives us something to talk about of a Monday evening, doesn't
it? Do you think France are contenders for the World Cup? Or close seconds, more than likely?
Too inconsistent.
How could they not, though? Look at their squad. The players they can choose.
They're too inconsistent. I think Benzema back there now is massive for them.
Yeah, I think so.
They're temperamental, the French, though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Without Benzema, I'd have said no, but I think the fact now, like, he just seems to be in the prime. Like, he's hit it a little bit later than most players.
Yeah.
I think he's been in his prime for about 6 years. It's underrated. It's criminal.
Yeah, but I just mean the last 24 months, he has just excelled his game. Like, he's been phenomenal. I think if they can get Mbappe playing really well with him,
did he come out and say that he'd leave the French team though? And he
did, that's what I mean about it.
They
temperamental.
Yeah.
They always have a wobble of things like that. He's 21, 22 maybe?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't think they'd be a guaranteed winner when you have a Spurs player as your captain either.
You know what? He pulled off with 3 good saves in the second half. But
he is a decent keeper. He is good.
He made me look like an idiot 5 minutes beforehand. I said... to her watching it, I said, he's shocking. I think he just kicked the ball out, played 3 times in a row. Pavard ended up getting taken off because of it. I said, he's shocking.
It wasn't even his fault.
The World Cup winning captain, and he can't kick a ball 20 yards. Pulls off 2 of the best saves I've seen in the last few years. 5 minutes out.
Yeah, commentator's curse.
Yeah. He's really good, isn't he?
That's what you get. That's what you get for watching it. What are you doing?
You should probably turn around and you know nothing about football. Like, you going on this call tomorrow?
Yeah. Football? No, I don't. You're right.
That's what my missus like. She's like, you don't support any of them teams. Actually.